Hello and welcome to the Sky News live stream of this, the 98th, I nearly forgot what number it is, that's a good start, 98th Academy Awards red carpet. This weekend, Hollywood's big weekend is going to be taking place here. The stars will be walking this way to head inside of the Dolby Theatre, and it's all action stations at the moment. Look, thought we'd give you a little bit of a tour. It is already, as you can see, the carpet is down. We've got some of the Oscar statues coming out. This actually, I think, is the only one that we can see at the moment, covered in cellophane, but they will be throughout the day bringing more of this little fella out because it is his big weekend, of course. Look, come round here. I'm going to guide you. Paul, the cameraman, is going to bring you this way because look, you can see these are the stairs that the stars will be walking through. Actually, I don't know if you know much about where the Kodak Theatre is, but it's actually kind of on the side of a shopping centre. So all of these big curtains and carpets are all draped to make it look a lot more glamorous than it actually is. But those are the stairs where the celebrities will be walking on this Sunday to get into the theatre to find out whether or not they've won their Oscars. All of this plastic will be coming off probably only in the last few hours before actually the ceremony itself gets going, because they don't want us journalists to be spilling tea and coffee and what have you. So we've got to keep it all nice and clean, really. Look, one thing that's worth noting as well is usually you see loads and loads of flowers. I suspect there will be flowers coming in a little closer to the time. But at the moment, what we've got is these lovely red autumnal trees. They've made a real sort of environmental effort in the last few years to make sure that they are using flowers and trees that are in planters, so things that they can be sort of shared or replanted, so they're not just wasting like loads and loads of money or sort of damaging the environment really either as well when it comes to flowers and decorations and things that don't last very long really. What's worth noting and what's different about this year's Oscars is one of the themes is the human touch. So in a way that's kind of a little bit of a dig about all of the conversations that are currently going on behind the scenes in Hollywood at the moment about AI. The producers have spoken about the fact that they are very keen to celebrate, and that you see in all the filmmaking that is honoured this year, the importance of creativity and the human touch, if you like. So that is supposedly the theme that they are going to be trying to reflect in many ways this year. Look, we thought we'd give you a bit of QA on this live stream though, so we're going to be taking your questions. We've already had quite a few questions come through, and it's going to be me and my editor Gregory taking you through some of the things that you want to know. Firstly, look, I haven't even gone into the details of who's leading the nominations this year. Sinners, a record-breaking number of nominations, isn't it? 16. It's already made history. Will it win that many? Probably not, but will it be the one that dominates?
I think it probably will, don't you? I think it's been an interesting award season. I think there were points where people were almost wondering if Sinners would make it in terms of nominations because it was out so long ago. It's really hard to keep up that momentum, you know, when the film comes out in the cinema and then you've got to keep people talking about it, keep it fresh in people's minds, keep people excited enough about it to even put it on the ballot in the first place. So I think there was a slight question mark. I think everyone knew it would get some noms, but then to come out and get 16, this record-breaking number, suddenly made things very, very exciting.
It's been a bit of a strange awards race, hasn't it, this year? We talk a lot, and we as people that are consumed by the Academy Awards and all of these award shows, about the awards campaigning that goes on, don't we? And how campaigning can sort of fundamentally shift who you sort of think are going to be the initial winners at the start of the award season, and that can change towards the end, can't it? And it definitely does feel like perhaps everyone was assuming it's going to be one battle that dominates, but now maybe there's been a bit of shift, do we think, towards Sinners more?
Yeah, I think it's a really good point. And actually, when we get to the questions, I think we're going to talk about campaigning quite a lot, and it's something that kind of quietly happens, but very much happens. A lot of money goes into it. Studios are kind of very strategic about it. Individuals are very strategic about it. So it's not just always a case of, well, you've done a good performance, you'll win an Oscar kind of thing. But yes, it does feel like momentum has shifted. I think one battle was out in front for a long time. I think when Sinners got all those nominations, that was a kind of moment where everyone really started sitting up and paying attention. And since then, the kind of momentum behind Sinners has only been growing and growing and growing, and I think we have a race on our hands, which is exciting.
It's good for us. It's what we like. Look, we are about to get into the questions, but before we do that, we should just sort of wildly speculate on some of the rumours. Everyone keeps talking about the fact that perhaps Barbara Streisand might be doing a musical performance. Do we think that might be a thing?
I could see it
honouring
potentially.
Robert Redford.
So
The Way We Were.
Yeah, it's actually was a really big year for celebrity deaths. So there's I imagine there'll be kind of some different tributes going on. I think that In Memoriam's kind of going to be quite hefty this year, and I mean, what could be better than a Barbara Streisand song?
Well, also people are saying that perhaps Billy Crystal will be on to honour Rob Reiner, who died this year as well. So perhaps it could be sort of a quite star-studded affair of big names wanting to actually say something quite emotional about the people we've lost this year.
And at the less emotional end of the scale, I was just reading that one of the stars of Heated Rivalry, the breakout massive show of the entire year, is also rumoured to be coming to the Oscars. So
you have a personal hand in the game for this one, don't you? You want him to be there.
I do want him to be there, but so does everybody else.
Yes,
it's just, I suppose it's what I'm saying is it's not just legends of the past, as well as there'll be some fresh stars there as well.
Have you got the questions?
Yes.
What are people asking?
Let's kick off then from Lee22. Will Paul Thomas Anderson finally win an Oscar for One Battle After Another?
You cannot believe that man, that filmmaker, that one of the most brilliant talents in film, has been nominated 11 times but never won an Oscar to date. I mean, he's the filmmaker that brought us Phantom Thread, Boogie Nights. He's just got an incredible body of work, but he is possibly one of the Oscars' biggest losers in terms of never actually making it across the line. It feels sometimes it's not about whether the film you've done is your best work, it's about whether or not it's your turn. But that being said, it is one of his best films.
I agree. I genuinely really love One Battle After Another. I think it does deserve certainly all the love it's received. I think, in my opinion, yes, he is going to get an Oscar. I think he will get Best Director. However, there are those that think Ryan Coogler will kind of come in and take it for Sinners. But yeah, and maybe Picture as well. That's kind of still up for grabs. But I think, we will see him up on that stage. I feel pretty confident about that, don't you?
I think so, yeah. Just so many people will be voting for him. The Academy absolutely loves him, and it does feel like it's his turn.
Yeah, and if it doesn't, I mean, that would just be very sad after so much kind of hard work and the whole award season of assuming he would.
He will be giving composer Diane Warren a run from her money, won't he, in terms of constantly missing out on an Oscar. She's nominated again this year, but doesn't it seem like she won't actually win? Is it a 17th or 18th nomination and no win?
That segues nicely into this question from Paw 4. Surely K-pop Demon Hunters win every nomination. Are there any others that can beat it? Well, I think certainly in terms of song, I think it's got it sewn up, hasn't it?
Yeah, although Sinners, people absolutely sort of rave about the music in Sinners. Animation, I would have thought, in my mind, animation is more of a sure bet for K-pop.
I think I'm with Paw 4. I think they will win everything they're nominated for K-pop. The song, the animation, it was an absolute phenomenon. And also, let's not forget, this is K-pop breaking into the Oscars. We don't normally see an Oscars K-pop crossover. This is an exciting time.
But
and
also
that film
as well,
deserves the critical recognition.
Absolutely. I mean, the level of response it's got from people around the world, people have absolutely loved the film, and there is nothing that sort of competes to the sort of popular vote in that terms. Mm-hmm. They are one of the two song performances that we will see in the ceremony as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I feel like we went from never having seen Hunter X perform to now they trot out at any old award show.
Yeah, because they were at the BAFTAs, they were at the Brits.
Brit Awards, yeah.
It's nice for the UK to be ahead of the US.
Yeah, exactly. It's a hard song to sing. That's what I would say about the BAFTA performance. Everyone was like, oh, there's some high notes in that one, isn't there? But at least I don't have to do it, so I don't know why I'm worried.
Maybe a treat for after the Oscars. Question from Maria T. What do you think of the new Best Casting category and who will win it? I mean, I feel like this has been a long time coming, having a casting award at the Oscars. It's something people
they've spoken about it for years, haven't they? The times that we've been here.
Yeah, and it does seem odd that it's not been recognised when so many other kind of, if you like, sort of technical categories have. It's such an important part of filmmaking. It's, directors often talk about, being totally reliant on their casting directors. So, it's exciting that it's kind of in the mix this year. The films up for it are Hamnet, Mighty Supreme.
Well, Hamnet, it's Nina Gold. I think the standout thing of Hamnet, aside from Jessie Buckley just being wonderful and brilliant in it, the child actor in that, the youngest son, Jacob E. Jupe, I think is his name, isn't it? I think the casting of the children in that perhaps was the real thing that's earned her place on that nomination list, because that was extraordinary. One Battle After Another, I was speaking to the producer of One Battle After Another, and she said that the thing to note about the casting of One Battle is that their casting lady,
Cassandra Kundis.
Yeah, she was on location with them as well, and it's that element of she was actually sort of mixing in real life people that sort of fitted into the scenarios that you see on the screen.
Yeah, it's not just those stars right at the front, it's everyone in the movie.
But if you are thinking about the stars that are in that film as well, I mean, gosh, Teyana Taylor is just extraordinary talent, and this is the film that really has propelled her onto everyone's radar.
And Chase Infinity as well, I can only imagine that her career is going to be really exciting from now, and that is going to have been kicked off by her part in One Battle. Of course, Sinners, Francine Maisler, she won at BAFTAs for casting, so you'd like to think that she's in with a good shout on Sunday for Sinners. Again, an incredible ensemble cast and so many kind of exciting performances within that have also all kind of garnered nominations, so that must be very satisfying as a casting director to see your choices all kind of being nominated themselves.
And what's nice as well, we've had was it last year or a couple of years ago where they dared to put the sort of craft categories in the commercial break so they didn't air. This is a real sort of a statement that they're making of, yes, we appreciate the people that aren't the famous A-listers, which is what I think if you're tuning into the Oscars, you are somebody that loves film and you genuinely do want to see things like who the editor was and what they've got to say. So I think it's right that they are getting that recognition. And also, after casting, is it next year that we're getting stunts?
They're getting stunts, yeah.
That's going to be one, isn't it?
I mean, it does mean the ceremony is going to get longer and longer and longer, but that's fine. Don't worry about that. And then we should also just complete the list. So also up for casting for The Secret Agent is Gabriel Dominguez.
Which is another brilliant ensemble, basically, that is getting recognised.
And then Mighty Supreme with Jennifer Vendetti. So,
which again, I think she was mixing in real life sort of table tennis figures alongside sort of proper professional actors. Gosh, that film's stressful, isn't it?
Yeah. And we know that there's going to be a kind of big moment for casting where they have separate kind of presenters come on for each film, for each nominee, and talk about them. It's called the kind of Fab Five kind of strategy for that bit of the award. So it'll be fun to see it highlighted in that way.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to another question.
Rather than just watch us talking, Paul, would you like to have, our cameraman, would you like to have a sort of flit around? We will carry on answering your questions while you get nice pictures of stuff.
Debbie Diamond 11 says, how will the new must-watch rule work and will it affect who wins? So this is basically to try and make sure that all Academy members actually watch all the films rather than just kind of, seeing the ones they've seen and then voting for their friends and the people that they like best.
There is a fundamental flaw with this, though, isn't there, that I would say, is that they are doing this by monitoring the Academy sort of live login portal, like an iPlayer sort of equivalent. You have to watch the films through this portal. But I mean, the point is, these are sort of very wealthy people that probably have teams of assistants and what have you, and you could just get your assistant to watch it if you wanted to cheat the system.
Yes.
But it's a nice
it comes from a good place.
Yes.
The idea is good because people should have to watch all the films if they're going to have the responsibility of voting. But will it affect who wins? I suspect we will. No, basically, I think no, it won't really affect who wins.
Yeah, I also think it does. it really does come down to who is getting sort of talked about within the industry at these parties and things and nights that people are having. So
that's the campaigning for you.
Campaigning.
From Jakey H, what do you think of Conan O'Brien hosting? It feels safe. Is there no one else? I mean, it's only his second year, so that's not too bad for an awards host. I think, Jake, I would say hosting an awards show is a really tough gig. There's an extraordinary amount of pressure. It's very easy to do a bad job. And I wonder if it's more difficult to find great people to do it than you might think.
People willing to do it, yeah.
I actually thought Conan was brilliant last year. What I love about Conan is that he is genuinely a film fan, and I think that really comes across in his hosting. He's not sort of a bit cynical and sneery about, the celebrity of it all, the kind of, the ridiculousness of it all, because, it is faintly ridiculous, but he's just really kind of authentically bought into the whole industry, and I think that's a nice thing. I thought he did a good job.
But you are right when you say that he is safe, because he is certainly someone that I think that is liked by a lot of these names that are in the audience, so everyone will be sat there not sort of wincing from the stress of it like you would if it was Ricky Gervais hosting. But the Oscars has never really had a sort of Ricky Gervais figure come on and host.
They don't do the roast.
This is the last sort of gig of award season, and everyone wants to sort of come away feeling good and don't really want to be like, why did he say that about me?
Yeah, exactly. Everyone wants to end on a high. Danny Bow, how is Wicked not nominated for anything this year? I love this question because I too was absolutely shocked. I think after it got so many nominations last year, and I think particularly with things like hair and makeup and production design, Wicked has such a kind of specific
that hasn't
look.
changed, has it?
And I also think justice for Ariana. I thought she was amazing in the second film, arguably better than the first. But yes, not a single nomination. I think it was a big surprise on nominations day when we all kind of realised that name hadn't been read out once.
But on that, two things. Firstly, lukewarm critical response. So can you really give it to a film that people weren't really raving about? Although fans obviously did rave about it. But also, there's been people were analysing how the cast were in interviews, weren't they, in press interviews, and there was there's theories that sort of from people that are voting and doing the shortlist that perhaps it was a bit off-putting. People didn't like how they were sort of projecting themselves in interviews, Ariana and Cynthia. Bit too much.
I would also say, coming out a year apart is that sometimes you need to build up a bit of kind of momentum again, and they didn't have that opportunity because they came out so close together. Jason has jumped in. Which is the best Oscars after party? Well,
Jason's got the right idea, hasn't
he? We haven't been to them all, but I think probably traditionally people would say that Vanity Fair is the best.
From our point of view, we're going different this year because Vanity Fair has introduced a new rule that you can't go live on the red carpet for TV crews, so we're off to the Elton John party this year.
Yeah, it'll be a nice change. We're excited. It's a very white carpet there, so we really must be on best behaviour.
Don't go spilling any food. And from a sort of how you get fed point of view, if you're a member of the press, at the Vanity Fair party you get given a burger halfway through, an In-N-Out burger, an infamous In-N-Out burger, which is delicious. At Elton John on the red carpet, white carpet, you get pizza.
Ooh, well, that's okay. That's all
right.
right.
You've got to do it whilst not being able to breathe in your dress.
Drop it on the floor.
Don't drop it, Claire.
No name for this one, but if Jessie Buckley doesn't win, who will? I can't imagine a scenario where she wouldn't. Actually, that would be so thrilling and exciting.
It would be embarrassing as well.
There's just such massive assumption, massive kind of momentum behind her. She has won every single other award going, and that tends to mean, statistically, it's just there's so much crossover with the BAFTAs, the Actors Awards, even the Globes can signify these things. She also won the Critics. She's won every single one, and the performance in Hamnet is, of course, well-deserving and amazing.
Well, explain a little bit about why that matters, though, because the Academy is made up of basically all the different award shows, aren't they? And like you have the Directors Guild, you have the Actors.
Exactly. So you have kind of different branches of the Academy that vote for different things, and then they all vote for Best Picture. But there's a lot of crossover. So a lot of people who are members of BAFTA, for example, would also be members of the Academy. And you'd think, BAFTAs, sometimes tilt towards kind of more British and Irish actors,
Yes.
so you know perhaps Jessie would have had a better chance there anyway. But we know that she won the Actors Award, which is all your members of SAG. They have their own awards, and they voted for her. And that is a huge crossover between the Academy
Yes.
and the SAG. So I think
Yeah.
I can't imagine her not winning. I think if there
But
were a
if I were to
second
suggest
place,
Rose Byrne.
Rose Byrne, I totally agree. If I
Yeah.
had legs, I'd kick you. Quite a strange
so.
film. It's quite a strange film. It's been quite a small film. I don't think lots of people in the UK have necessarily been talking about it, but it's an amazing performance.
We are used to seeing Rose Byrne do comedy more, aren't we? And she's brilliant at comedy. This, think, is the best serious role that she has done in her career, and it is like really heartbreaking that everyone's talking about someone else, because it's basically a one-hander, isn't
Yeah.
it? She is the star of the show throughout that film, and
Yeah.
it's really good.
I
But
think if
it's
there
like,
were-
is it your year?
Yeah.
And it just doesn't seem like her year.
It's not. It's Jessie Buckley's
And Jessie
year.
Buckley will make history. We've never had an Irish actress win Best
Yes.
Actress.
And that comes only a couple of years after, of course, Cillian Murphy becoming the first Irish actor to win Best Actor. So it's all very
It's
exciting.
an Irish takeover.
Yeah, we love it.
We're
We
all for
absolutely
it.
love it. And do you think Timmy will take Best Actor?
Oh, this is the question, isn't it? Because, well, we're getting back to what we started talking about in the very beginning, because we started this award season, the mood music very much felt like this was Timothée Chalamet's year, because he's been nominated. This is his third nomination, is it, or fourth nomination? But anyway, he was nominated last year for the brilliant work he did, learning the guitar and to sing like Bob Dylan. He didn't win then. He has established himself as one of the best character actors of his generation. He studied so hard to play Marty Supreme, dragging table tennis things around with him
To the
for
deserts
months.
for filming
yeah,
Dune,
yeah,
everything he was doing,
He
he took
put
a
the
table tennis
hours
with
in,
him.
and it very much felt like this was him. But the awards campaigning hasn't really gone Marty Supreme's way, has it?
It's not gone his way. And Timmy, to be fair, he has
Nothing
kind
to
of...
do with Timmy.
It's nothing to do with Timmy, and he's created this kind of new way of campaigning. He doesn't kind of do the masses of interviews, the kind of going around kind of glad-handing at all the film festivals.
Which is a nightmare for journalists,
Yeah,
because we don't get to do him. But for social media, he's
Yeah.
been amazing.
He
He's been
stood
doing all
on
these
top
stunts.
of the Sphere in Vegas and turned it into a ping pong ball. Him and Kylie turned up in their matching orange outfits.
And the ironic merch drops
Yeah.
as well that he's done.
He's
the
kind
fashion.
of turned campaigning on its head. It's exciting, it's
fun.
fresh,
Yeah.
you know, and that's, you know, it's great. He's a young actor. It is exciting and fresh. And I don't think that's necessarily counted against him. I think Marty Supreme has hit some controversies this year, and I think Timmy would have weathered those actually. But I
the
think
Safdie brother stuff, if you read into it, and it's the sort of toxic culture issue
on
that claims
former
that are made.
films,
Yeah.
on former films, and I think that actually that Timmy still did have a good chance even when that came out. I think what's happened is that there's been this massive swell of support behind Michael B. Jordan, who does play two characters, you know.
It's brilliant,
Yeah.
and it's such a strong bit of acting that he does in that. It's such a, I mean, can you imagine the intricacy of having to kind of switch between characters? He deserved to be up there in the running anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
But then we had the controversy at the BAFTAs, didn't we? And I think that changed how people felt. In a way, Marty Supreme felt like it was tainted slightly by all this other stuff that was going on. And Michael B. Jordan, everyone just went, oh God, he's handled that so well. And so gracefully, and we'd quite like him to win. So
I think that's
we'll
it.
see.
What's a tangible, you know, Oscar voting was open when the BAFTAs was taking place, and it's a tangible way to show your love, your support for this film and the people in it, the filmmakers behind it, is to kind of tick that box. And so I think it is. I feel like now it is likely that Michael B. Jordan is going to win Best Actor. I feel kind of pretty certain about that. I think I'm at the point now where I'll be a bit surprised if Timmy wins.
It comes back to that thing as well, where actually, if you look at all of the Best Actor nominees, they're all extraordinary performances. So this whole sort of awards circuit that we're on, it's not necessarily about brilliance, because you couldn't fault any of those performances. They are all brilliant. It becomes about these extra sort of things that are happening around the peripheries, isn't it?
Yeah. The narrative, that campaigning that we've talked about, and everything else. And you know, the other thing I would say about Timothy is he's very young. He'll be back. He'll be back.
He'll be back.
He would be a very young Best Actor winner. So his time would come for sure. From Adam, are we expecting the usual political anti-Trump acceptance speeches? I think there's less of those than you might think, actually,
Yes.
Adam.
I think there is a general sense that from the celebrities, from the filmmakers, that they can't win by having a political opinion. And really, when you think about it, do we want them to? I think I at the Golden Globes did get a little bit annoyed that nobody from One Battle said anything about politics, really, but that has changed at the BAFTAs. Paul Thomas Anderson did get a little bit sort of alluding towards politics, because One Battle is set against this backdrop of this sort of rebellion against authority, which you can't fail but sort of draw parallels to ICE and what's happening with Trump. But it comes down to, do we actually care, should we care what celebrities think about what's going on in the world? It's faintly ridiculous to expect them to have thoughts on what's happening in Iran, isn't it?
Yeah.
We don't need them to.
And I think as well, the Oscars marks the end of award season, of campaigning. Kind of at the start of this, we talked about how Sinners came out in the cinemas a long time ago. Everyone's exhausted. They're probably looking to kind of get this done and get off to the party without kind of causing more headlines, kind of, just kind of let the story run its course, basically. So I suspect we won't actually hear a lot of political speeches. But
caveat, unless Sean Penn turns up.
And we think Sean Penn would probably win Best Supporting Actor. So if he does turn up, who knows? Maybe he would have something to say.
Do we think he's going to turn up? I mean, he lives round here, doesn't he? So
So
surely it's not that much of an effort. He turned up at the Golden Globes smoking, but then he didn't win that one, and then
he
just
didn't
not bother
come
turning
to
up.
the BAFTAs, but arguably, that's in
then he started
London, that's
winning
far
everything.
away, but he
Yeah.
did win. And then the Actors Awards, he also wasn't there. So, but maybe he'll come out. And also, it's the last chance to show some love for One Battle. I think campaigning is a big kind of group effort, and this is the kind of end of that campaign trail, so it's getting all the band together one last time.
The brilliance of if Sean Penn turns up is the potential chaos that it will cause, because he has in the past spoken about when the Ukraine war broke out, how he was willing to melt down his Oscars, he cared so little about them. So come on, Sean Penn, come and give us something to talk about. That'd be fun. And that is one of the most incredible performances that Sean Penn has ever given as Lockjaw. He deserves to win thoroughly. I don't think there's anyone that's going to beat him in that category.
I think Stellan Skarsgård would potentially have been someone that people thought had a really good shot. He's brilliant in sentimental value. Yeah. He's a real statesman actor. I think he's really well liked in the industry. He's made a few people quite a lot of money over the years, which is always handy when it comes to voting. But I think that Sean Penn performance is so undeniable and is so kind of big. It's hard to kind of see past that. I think if we were talking second places, my money would be on Stellan, but on the Oscars, we only find out the winner.
You never know, do you? Right, do we have any more questions, or should we wrap this up?
That's a lot.
Okay, final thoughts. What are we most looking forward to? What would you like to see, Claire?
I am looking forward to see that Paul Thomas Anderson win. I think, he's a really great director. He's one of my personal favourites, and I'm excited to see him finally get that Oscar in whatever category it happens to be. Director, picture, I'll take it.
Yeah. I think, Paul Thomas Anderson's going to be the one that's really exciting. We have to end with Jessie Buckley, don't we?
Yeah.
Come on,
Jessie.
Jessie Buckley is going to be doing it for Ireland, and we're all going to be enjoying seeing her get up there. She's given some great speeches today, and I think she's going to be the one to watch. Look, we will end by giving you a shot of what's happening here. Final touches happening, and all of the crews getting in position ahead of what is the biggest night for Hollywood, which has taken place this weekend, the 98th Academy Awards.